Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, look at that thing. And hey, look at that thing that Chris is holding. I'm one of your co hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and with me is my other co host, Chris,
Chris.
holding
Yes.
a miniature frying pan for
Nope.
one egg.
It's a speaker.
Oh, it's a speaker.
It's a speaker.
Oh, from the
I
back,
don't.
it looks like one of those little one egg pans that they
Oh
sell.
yeah. It does. It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having one of those though. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's convenient if you're like literally just making a fried egg,
Right. Yeah.
but just one. But that's not what this show's about. This show's about TV and movies, and most specifically Sex and the City. We're working our way through the entire series. I've seen it too many times. Chris has seen it like not really at all, like, knows the basics, but has not spent the better part of his life watching it. Probably for the best, but anyway. We're in the middle of season 4.
Yes.
Episode 17, A Vogue Idea.
A Vogue Idea. Yeah. This was an interesting episode.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Lot going on. Samantha's the best. I just want to say that. Just want to put that out there. Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Samantha?
Well, yes. Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
So Samantha is getting ready for Richard's birthday.
Yes, they're like at dinner, talking about what they're gonna do for his birthday, and he says he doesn't want to celebrate it. Which
celebrate.
Honestly, low key, I mean, that's actually not that much of a stretch when it comes to dudes. Like most dudes don't really want to celebrate. Like at best, we want to like have some people over or some shit like that, or like go to a bar and just have some drinks with our friends. But like, we don't want to do anything other than just that, like the simplest thing. If we even do that,
I like an activity, but like a chill one.
Yeah.
Like Medieval Times was super fun for my birthday.
Too much.
No, just enough.
No, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome, but I'm saying that's too much for a dude. It's like, that's too much. Try to get everybody to organize to come to fucking Medieval Times.
It is such a, you're right, dudes are like, oh, let's do it.
Fuck all that, dude. It's hard enough. Like, I mean, I'm looking at that like in the age of now and being in LA, it's like it's hard to get people just to come to a bar. Like if you just say, hey, I'm having birthday drinks at this place, it's like central to everybody. Let's get there. There's always somebody that's like,
yeah. There's always a complainer.
All the things. There's all the things.
Anyway, although I've laid off activities, and I just like a dinner. Get everybody together for dinner. I did Smokehouse this year.
That's even complicated.
Sometimes. That was complicated too.
Be like, oh, the dinner's at 7:30. Motherfuckers roll up at 8, 9. Oh, y'all still eating? Yeah, motherfucker, we done 8. We about to leave. What are you talking about?
So yeah, he's very much like, I don't want to celebrate. And she's like, come on, you gotta want something for your birthday though, right? And this like hot waitress hostess comes to the table and he's like super distracted, and she leaves and he's like, oh my God, I know exactly what I want, Samantha. And she's like, what? He's like, I want to bang you and that waitress.
I mean, she said anything. You don't say anything if you ain't down for anything. That's all I'm saying. You gotta choose your words wisely.
Yeah, but the way his face lit up, truly, it was like, I've got it. I know exactly the perfect gift for my birthday.
Well,
I'll ask for a 3-way.
It's kind of one of those things where, because he was saying that he doesn't want to celebrate. Samantha was like, no, we have to celebrate your birthday. Well, maybe I want to celebrate your birthday. Maybe it has nothing to do with you, which doesn't make any sense. But it's like, it's your birthday, but you don't want to celebrate it, but I want to celebrate it. So we're going to celebrate.
There are some people like that who are I am going to dictate the party. Which not unlike someone in this episode with an unrelated party. We'll get to that.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, it is okay because, if I had an inkling to do something, but like the idea of planning something out was just causing me to be turned off, and if somebody was like, hey, I want to do it for you, I probably just let them. I'm like, all right, do your thing, whatever, I don't care. But like, if I was saying I don't give a fuck about it at all, and you still like, but I'm doing it for me, then it's not for me. It's for you.
Yeah.
But continue.
So she does ask the girls if like she think it's a good idea, because she's like, well, he doesn't want to be monogamous, so like maybe it's sort of like he'll cheat, but I'm there anyway. So like it's sort of best of both worlds.
That's kind of funny because there's a lot of women that kind of see it that way when it comes to threesomes. Like they don't want to, but but if my husband wants to, or my boyfriend or whatever partner having first year or significant other, like they kind of just like, well, at least if I'm there, I can kind of control the situation instead of letting him just like go off, be beasting,
Yeah. And then she's like, plus if it's his fantasy, at least I'm part of the fantasy. And Charlotte's like careful what kind of fantasy you give into, because sometimes you end up doing it on the golf course and then you still get dumped. And they're like, you okay, man? She's like, yeah, it's just a hypothetical.
It was way too specific.
It was so specific.
Way too specific. Although I definitely would. I mean, I'm assuming she was talking about Trey, but I'm surprised they say like tennis court. I thought tennis was like more of a thing than golf.
I did too. So maybe
I know he golfs because they're Scottish, but like,
yeah,
I feel like tennis is definitely more of his jam.
Could be pre-Trey, but it's probably Trey.
Probably Trey. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I mean, I don't, because he fucked up so hard at the end, but I miss the early days of Trey.
No. That's not what I meant. I was saying, I don't know if it was, no, I still miss him too. Like, I mean, yeah, the cardboard baby thing was a little, it's still, yes, Trey, you still fucked up with that.
Yeah, buddy.
But,
it's not good.
not a good look. No, I was saying, it might have been pre-Trey, right? Because like I said, that's not, I mean, I know like there was a hot moment whenever they first kind of got back.
Oh no, they golfed a bunch in on their honeymoon.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. There was definitely Trey then.
In Bermuda. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Yep. Cool. At least the grass is soft. They say Bermuda grass is like the best grass of all time. So you complaining, Charlotte? You basically did it in the bed.
And it kind of flies by that Samantha's like, the worst part too is like men get better looking as they get older, and I was like, that's only because we said that as society, man. Like,
and not all of them do it, baby. Only a certain type that get a little better as they get older. Very few select.
Yeah, so I'm tired of that, like, oh, women age terribly thing. No, they fucking don't. Get out of here.
Only if you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
Sure.
If you like fucking drinking wine and fucking smoking cigarettes every day, yeah,
that would make anyone look like shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's
Man
what I mean.
woman.
Like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think for the most part, if you're doing all right, you probably people don't look as old as they think that they are. I don't think women age any worse or anything than men.
We just decided they did. Like society was like, yeah, fuck women over a certain age. They're all crones.
They can't make a baby. They're useless.
Pretty much. That's a whole other show and story. We'll move on because they don't dwell on it. I'm not going to dwell on it. We'll move right along. So Samantha goes back to the restaurant to talk to the waitress about it, and the waitress is like, fuck yeah, I want to do this.
Down.
She's super down.
I know, yeah, because Samantha was like trying to drop these little hints, and she's like, bitch, just ask me. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She's like, because I mean, honestly, too, I don't even know why I can't believe Samantha was like that kind of coy about it, because I mean, like even at the restaurant prior, when she brought over the wine, she was like, oh, we had to, we gave this wine on the house because you had like the hottest couple in here. Like, and that wasn't just like something that she was, it wasn't like she was, something that was told like, oh, go say that to that couple over there. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was definitely came from her own brain. So she was already into it. I don't know why Samantha was like, it's going to be a private party with just the three of us.
That's because Samantha's still a classy lady at heart, and is like, I can't just be like, hey, you want to bang me and that guy I was here with a couple days ago? You remember us, right? You in?
I mean, as quickly as that girl said yes, I think in this case, she was just asking like, girl was like, oh yeah, let's go. Like, what are you talking about? I'm totally down. Let's go. Shit, thought y'all gonna ask me that night. I can't believe it took y'all this long.
And so before the three-way, she's talking to Carrie, and she's like, look, I'm a little worried about it, but I have more experience. I'm like pretty confident I'm gonna like dominate. It's all good. Yeah. She was a little anxious. And so they get to the three-way, and Samantha's like laying down ground rules. She's like, for you two, it's just sex, no kissing. Mm-hmm. And then the little waitress is like, what if he kisses me? And Samantha's like, you know what to do. Yeah,
you better like push him away or something.
Yeah, But Samantha's up top kissing, and the waitress slides on up, and Samantha like shoves her head out of the way.
Pushes her off the bed completely.
Yeah, well, and she does it in a second because Richard's like, "Hey man, there's plenty to go around." I'm like, no one likes you. I've always found Richard kind of creepy, even though I know Samantha. It's just something about that. I feel bad because he's a fine actor, but like, he's just got a look that I don't like.
I feel you. I get what you're saying.
There's something there.
Yeah. Like the thing is, he's never played a creep, but if he played a creep,
right, he'd be really good at it.
Yeah. I ain't saying she said it, America.
I'm sorry. He's like, I think probably like a nice dude and everything. Which is what's even worse about me being like, you're creepy looking.
It's fine.
He's listen, not gonna hear this.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah, he's doing fine. You know, got a lot of money. He's good.
He's doing good. He was on Dexter.
He's fine.
Doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
But then I love the way he's like, hey, plenty to go around. And the waitress goes, you tell him, daddy. And boom, boner killed. So fast.
Here's the thing. Okay. Like, I know for the sake of the joke, they're like, oh, she called him daddy and that made him feel old, and that's why he kicked her out. But let's be honest here. You know damn well a man like Richard likes to be called daddy in the bedroom. You know damn well.
Yeah.
In real life, a man like that would be like, daddy, hell yeah. If anything, he would have gotten harder when she called him daddy.
Right, because I feel like in obviously in the last few years, like the whole daddy zaddy thing has been like a total, not like my favorite joke that I've been making about the show The Gilded Age over and over is the hot robber baron I call capitalism daddy. And I'm like, oh, ruin my credit harder, capitalism daddy.
Capitalism daddy, hilarious.
Fuck up my economy, capitalism daddy.
I'm just saying, that's why I was like, when she said daddy, like, and they both like look at each other like, oh, I can't believe she said that, like as if he was offended. Stop it.
Because that made me wonder if like obviously it's a popularized thing now, but like it's because it came out of like more of the gay community than like straight community.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but I'm saying even at this time, like at this time of this episode taking place, I'm pretty sure a guy like that would still be okay with being called daddy. Like maybe I can see him maybe faking it for Samantha to not make her, be turned off, but like in general, he's probably been called daddy by a few people in his life. But I'm also wondering because the only time a dad maybe would be turned off by that, or the dad, a guy might be turned off by that, is if he is a dad. You know what I mean? Because this is fucking weird. If you're actually a dad, especially if you're a dad, to a daughter
dad.
Yeah, daughter dad. Yeah, like shit, that'll really fuck you up.
Everybody's going to therapy.
Yeah. But I didn't believe that part. I was like, I know y'all wrote it just to like kind of put the cap on the scene so we can get on, but
and it's to tie into Carrie's whole storyline with the dad issues, blah blah blah. It's a little sidebar to that, which we'll get to that in a second.
Well, that's also too. Also, it's like either he has a kid or he has like a secret kid somewhere, and maybe that where it triggers him. You know what I'm saying? Because like a guy like that definitely might have a secret kid that he's just sending money to on the on the low.
One of those hotels he's always at.
Just saying, my man been out there slinging for a long time. It seems like bound to catch an L one day.
But so after she says "daddy," that's when Samantha shoves that poor waitress out of the bed. Like what? And that bed is so. I think it's a camera trick, but the bed is also like is weirdly high off the ground. It made it look like she fell really far from the bed.
I know they made that bed look like a fucking bunk bed. I was like, they push her down like off a foot. Like
the princess and the pea over here. How many mattresses do you have, Richard?
Yeah, dude. Also, the bed looked kind of small for a person that's supposed to have all that money. That bed didn't look very big. It looked like barely a full size.
Which is so weird because they keep showing it. So that like room they keep showing of his is ostensibly his bedroom where there's the 2 stairs that kind of come down.
Yeah.
And like, I'm presuming a king size bed in the kind of dead center of the room. It's such a bizarro setup. Maybe that's why I think he's creepy too. I'm like, what a creepy fucking bedroom you have.
It does
it's like a fucking
Patrick
vampire
Bateman.
den over here.
Yeah, it's like fucking Patrick Bateman would design it.
Right? Yeah, like doing your sit-ups and then you kill Paul or whatever. It's
Hey,
so
Paul.
weird. Hey, Paul. And so, but after all that, after the sex, Richard's like, hey, I want to try monogamy, just you and me. And she's like, fuck yes. Like she tries to she hides it a little bit, internally she's like, yes, we did it, mission accomplished, put up the banner.
I know, even though she's scared to death of it, she knows she wants it so bad with this guy.
With this guy, yeah.
With this guy, yeah. Maybe not in general, but with this guy for sure.
Yeah.
That's all right. We still got Samantha though. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna give her props because see, this is the kind of thing, right, where if you're talking about like kind of setting yourself aside from all the women to like be the girl on top, right? Like most women that Richard probably deals with or was dating and shit like that, if he'd have been like, hey, let's have a threesome, they would have been like, fuck no, right?
Yeah.
And, so they would have been like every other girl. But the fact that Samantha gave it a good go and was gonna go through with it, like she wasn't trying to stop nothing. She wasn't like, a bunch of rules, like she just has to be in it. Like she was like, look, I'm gonna do it for my man. So like that definitely made her stand out. So like honestly, that's probably what won him over and was like, hey, this is my girlfriend, not just like some girl that I'm having, because he tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And ultimately, like it didn't happen, but it was because he was like, I don't want it no more. You know what I mean? And I think that's honestly, the daddy thing, I don't think that's really what turned him off. I think he just like realized he didn't really want that. He just wanted them two to be together.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But now, who do you want to hit up next?
Let's go with. I want to wrap it up with her. Let's do Carrie and then we'll move to Miranda.
I like the baby shower to cap it out.
Yes.
All right.
Wrapping it up with her because she's been like the main story for some fucking reason, but now this is boring. So let's go.
Yeah. So Carrie is going to work at Vogue.
Yes.
She's going to the offices for feedback on her freelance article. Also, really quick to note, she has her post-breakup haircut now. It's a shorter bob. I think it's very cute. I think she looks great. I like this haircut on her.
Supposed to be her? Is that like a signature thing that this character does every time, like after breakup?
No, but it's very common for women to like do a drastic haircut after a breakup. And her hair was quite long when she was with Aiden, and now it's like to just her shoulder collar area.
You know what? I am such a dude. I did not notice it at all. I didn't even think about that. Her haircut. Like I see it now in my head.
Yeah, you're like,
back on it. I was like, oh shit, her hair is shorter. But it didn't even cross my mind that she had shorter hair. God damn, we don't know shit, bro. We don't know nothing, bro. If it'd have been a snake, it'd have bit me right on up, bro.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, fellas,
wait. Okay. Oh, but that's a real thing. Like, do that. Like post breakup, they like go get their hair shortened or like a new hairstyle
or a new color. Or bangs is always the big one. Sometimes people try to do bangs themselves and totally ruin their situation. They do it too short or uneven or what have you. I've never done it, but some people are like, I need a change. And the only thing, and it's sort of ostensibly, it's like, hey, there's not a lot you can control in life, but you can control your hair pretty easily. So it gives you a sense of control over the world if you cut it or give yourself bangs or change the color or what have you.
Never thought about that. That's interesting.
Science.
Yeah. Did not know that was like, because I've heard the cliche jokes, but I always wondered if it in fact was.
I don't know how often it must happen enough to be a thing.
If a stereotype developed from it, then it has to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. It hasn't been happening a lot because, the joke wouldn't just come out of thin air. Well, I don't know. Media is weird sometimes. They just like start trends, and you're just like, wait, when did that was the day?
They even do it in stuff. There's so many examples, but for whatever reason, the one that just popped into my head was the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie. She has long pigtails, and in the movie she cuts one and then immediately starts crying before she does the other one. It's such a quick scene, but it makes me laugh because it's so perfect. She's like, I'm free of the Joker, like snips it off and then it's just holding the tail end of the pigtail, and then it's like
yeah,
it's like immediately
because that's how I feel like that's probably how I feel, especially if you had really long hair and then all of a sudden if you had like 12 inches of hair and now all of a sudden you have like 4, that's a big change.
Oh yes. I wouldn't call mine a breakup cut though. It's very different circumstances. Broke up with my cells? I don't know. Chris accidentally took a drink of water at the wrong time.
I was gonna say you had a breakup with health, but
yeah, I broke up with health. My cells.
You beat me to it. I was like, oh, that's a way better joke. That's a way better joke.
I can't write I couldn't help but wonder joke, but I can write that. Hey. Anyway, so Carrie goes into the Vogue offices to get and meets one of her 2 editors, played by Candice Bergen. She's great. Murphy Brown.
Yep.
Legend. We love her. And she hates Carrie's article. She's like, it's not
immediately.
Immediate. It's like bleeding. There's so much red on the page.
Honestly, like you can tell she immediately. First of all, that thing was so red marked. I remember when she turned it around. The heading of it had fucking red
the title.
The first sentence had fucking red. I was like, damn, she didn't like that from. She hated her name up top. She was like, it's immediately. It was like,
she's like, change his name.
Carrie Bradshaw. Can we do
no? And then she's got this other editor in there playing good cop, basically.
Yeah, that's why I wrote that same thing too. It's kind of like good cop, bad cop. Yeah.
And this guy is Ron Rifkin, who's been in like a million things. People might know most from Alias. I didn't watch Alias, but of his like bajillion credits, that was the one that leapt out to me. But like, yeah, long-term character actor, pretty well. I think theater guy too.
Oh yeah, he's done so much, man. The guy's been all over the place.
Yeah. And quick math. So Carrie wrote a 500-word article, and she said in the last episode she's getting $450 a word at Vogue. That equates to $2,250.
That's not bad.
Which is great. And but here's the thing, she only does one of those a month. Ooh. But still.
But she's still with the newspaper, right?
She still has her full-time salary.
Yeah.
So at $2,250 a pop for 12 months, pre-tax, I figure she could pay Charlotte back in about 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Because she's gonna make like $24,000, and then you gotta take taxes out and things like that. So, but if she only put it towards paying Charlotte back for the ring and the down payment. Now, I think you and I both know she's not doing that. Charlotte will never see this money.
No. Yeah.
But
she might see some of it, but she ain't gonna see it all. Yeah, she ain't gonna get it all back. She might get like $5,000 of it.
She's gonna get like a handful of paychecks back, and then just eventually be like, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting, Charlotte.
Yeah. That money is gone.
Charlotte's gonna be like, I sold you my fucking Tiffany ring, you dumb bitch. Anyway,
telling you. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, because like I was thinking that too. It's like, not only is that going to be a factor because she's probably going to be spending money, like going out doing, because they're always at fucking brunch and going for drinks and shit like that. So there's money there. And then
unless she's always paying for Charlotte's meal, which I highly doubt.
I doubt it. Well, I was also thinking too, like how much is her mortgage, right? Because now she owns that place, and I'm pretty sure, Aiden is not going to be paying that mortgage. I'm sure he passed that off to her.
So that's the financial story there. It's one of those like, hey, don't include that detail if you don't want people calculating shit, at least not nowadays. Probably didn't matter back then when people weren't binge watching stuff, but now that people have too much time, apparently, and can devote all their time to putting shit on the internet and calculating things, now we know.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we can do that while we're watching that shit now.
Yeah.
We got access to it.
Taking notes. So yeah, Candice Bergen doesn't care about Carrie's like POV or voice in the article. She's like, I want you to write more in line with Vogue's style and voice, and she's giving her all these notes, and I love when she's like, you're a writer, you should be writing this down. And it's true. I will say it's true. It's
Like
you have to.
You can't take a mental note. You're not gonna, especially
Yeah.
a person like you. You know who you are, Carrie. You ain't taking no mental notes. You're sitting
Yeah.
there. So, like, first of all, you're not even. She's probably barely even listening. She's so pissed off, and like, her
Yeah.
ego's hurt. That's the worst thing you do to somebody like Carrie.
Yeah. Like I was hired for my little freelance side hustle partially because the editor who I'd worked with before did like how I wrote and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But but even with like my voice in these articles or listicles, really, they cut things out or smooth things, like it happens. And I'm very surprised she took this so fucking personally. Although at the same time, I'm not.
Right, yeah.
This implies she doesn't have an editor at the newspaper and just gets to submit whatever.
Maybe, or the editor.
Which is not real. That doesn't happen.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the fact that, like, she's been writing for that newspaper for so long, so she kind of has, she has everything down. So she probably hasn't had any kind of critiques in many years.
That's very true.
And also it seems like, I mean, I'm sure there's probably some, there was probably some editing at first, say when she first started.
Yeah.
But it also seems like, if she's been working with this newspaper for however many years, like after so long, they kind of just like let you do what you want creatively. Because it's like, especially she's popular. People know her. Like when people hear her name, they say, "Oh, you're of such column." So like, it's kind of like, how they did with fucking South Park. At some point, they said, "Hey, do whatever the fuck you want." Because there's some shows that you're just like, they got away with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've been doing that for years and you come here, somebody's like, "Actually, you're writing trash," that's gonna it's like starting all over again. You know what I mean?
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to Carrie.
As an artist, I get the journey. You know what I mean? Because it was like, when I first got to LA, when I was doing stand up in my hometown, it was like, oh shit, I got this. I know how to be funny. Saying blah blah blah. And then you get here and you're like, oh wait, none of the shit that I did in Dallas translates to here. Like I'm basically starting from the bottom again.
Yeah.
So it takes it. You got to like humble yourself. I don't know how long it's gonna take her to humble herself, but you definitely got to humble yourself when you're starting from the bottom again.
For sure. So this other editor though, Julian, is nice and he's like comforting Carrie, gives her a drink. I was like, red flag. Carrie.
Oh, well, I was like, I mean, that's the thing too. Like my brain is like, it's like a dude is like, please don't be creepy. Please be a good dude. Please be just like a great guy. And the second he called her a cookie, I was like, oh, nope, I don't think this is it.
Oh, he called all with the cookie in this episode. He's calling.
Yeah, he kept calling her cookie. He kept calling her cookie. And he like pinched her cheek. I was like, okay, maybe. I was like, maybe he'll just be a father figure. Maybe he just like honestly wants to see her succeed. You know what I mean? Because like, it's like, how I'm looking at it as if like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy might be, but like, how they were trying to get on Joe Biden saying that he was a creep, but like he's just like an old affectionate guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, he could be politician, but I was like trying to give this guy the same benefit of that. Like maybe he's just like an old, grandpa type, and he wants to see, this person naked.
Lay off Grandpa Joe. He's trying. Just kidding. No,
but he said
lay
cookie.
into
I was
Grandpa
like,
Joe.
yeah. As soon as he said cookie, I was like, nope, that ain't it.
No,
he ain't grandpa type.
And she's like, why was I even hired here? And he's like, oh, my daughter recommended you. She reads your article, and he's like, here, I'll try to help you like kind of hide your voice in the articles and I'll work with you. But here, have a martini. So like 1.5 martinis in, she's drunk and ranting. He's like, how are you so drunk? She's like, I didn't eat and I'm a size 2. And I'm like, yeah, Carrie is 90 pounds soaking wet. Yeah. I'm surprised she's not like more fucked up like half the time with the amount that they do drink when they go out to bars and stuff.
That's the weird thing, right? It's like, just now that I think about it, I mean, obviously there's a lot for the imagination, but sometimes I wonder, like, okay, if she's that much of a lightweight, how much does she drink when they're out having fun? You know, I feel
like she does kind of like, if you think about it, I feel like most of the time you do kind of only see her have one drink.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Like, but I was like, maybe that's just like, a pacing and a timing thing.
Yeah.
Of, the episode, but like, maybe that's all she really ever has.
Yeah. I'm a lightweight. I can't really do more than 2. And then I do start to like lose shit, like knock things over and get really tired. So I'm like, everyone's like, you're kind of big for a lightweight. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not training. I haven't trained to drink. I don't drink a lot.
The size of this, your body weight has nothing to do with what your liver is used to. That's what ultimately is breaking it down. So if your liver hasn't had a drink ever and you have a shot of alcohol, guess what? You're gonna get drunk off of one shot.
Believe me, I feel like when, as a more plus size person, I tell people I'm a drinking lightweight, I get a little like, oh, okay. Sure.
No, I believe it.
I'm like, look, you C word. Man or woman, by the way. I'll sling that one at.
Both can be the C word.
Look, you C word.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's because I haven't spent my life drinking.
Right.
I don't do it very often. So when I do, I have like kind of an upper limit. And it's a low one.
I will say this, as a Midwestern girl, it is kind of unlikely that you wouldn't be drinking all the time.
And I'm mostly Irish, man. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Even more. That's why I was like, damn, you're like disrespecting your whole.
I just call it the recessive genes. I just got them. That's
Midwest girls be drinking, bro.
I know, it's because there's nothing else to fucking do. So you just stick it out on the back porch in the snow and then keep opening the door and letting the cold air in and getting a beer.
Nice.
So yeah, Carrie's hammered though, and she's still ranting, and he helps her like stumble out of Vogue, which is like so embarrassing. I'm like, how can you be so unprofessional and be like literally falling down drunk on your first day?
Your first day.
And I love her little like business suit fashion outfit too. It's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
Like trying to be like, I'm going to work. This is how work people dress, right? Carrie loves a costume.
It was like she was trying to put a Carrie spin on one of Miranda's outfits.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It didn't work, by the way. It didn't work.
I mean, I liked it. I get it. Like, I thought it was like a cute look, but it's so like, I'm going to the office where silly little people go. I get to work from from anywhere because I'm a creative writer, but this is how I imagine people dressed. And in fairness, she is going to Vogue, very fashionable. We've all seen Devil Wears Prada, where like, her like kind of frumpy office attire doesn't jive. And I was saying like, I thought she looked okay for an office, but yes, probably not the Vogue offices, to be real. Changes had to be made. Maybe not the full-on makeover she gets in the movie, but certainly something. Anyway. So later Carrie has dinner with this Julian guy again, and he clearly likes her. He's talking about his wife. He's been married like 20 wonderful years. And he asks about her love life, and she's like, oh, I just ended things with a guy. And she's like, I'm gonna abandon the article. And he's like, I never let my kids, emphasis on the word kids, quit. She's like, I'm not your kid.
I was gonna say too, I was like, Carrie does, her personality seems like the kind of person that like, it gets a little bit hard. She's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna quit. Like, she just like wants to throw her ball and run, like not even play the game a little bit. Yeah, she's like, you can tell her ego was very hurt by old girl turning her down.
And we finally get a little backstory on Carrie's family life, because he's like, what would your father think of you quitting? And she's like, I wouldn't know. My dad quit the family when I was 5. And she's like, but I'm in like a good place about it. She's just kind of, it's been what her, 5 is when you really start forming memories anyway.
Right, yeah.
So if the guy wasn't around for basically her entire life. It's kind of hard to be. I mean, you can still be mad at someone who did that.
Yeah, I mean, there's still issues because you always it's the thing that it's like a different kind of issues, right? It's the issues is like always the question of why wasn't said person around. That's like the big question that kind of fucks with you.
But it's not exactly like she can miss him because she doesn't really remember him.
Right, that part,
significant part of her life. But Julian does get all psychoanalysts on her, and he's like, well, your father left with no answers, so you spend your life asking questions about men. And she's like, damn, you didn't have to fucking read me like that.
I mean, honestly, hearing the story makes it makes a lot of sense why she couldn't fall in love with a guy like Aiden, but she could fall desperately in love with a guy like Big.
True.
Makes a lot of sense.
And Julian offers to make it so that she'll only work with him And he's like, oh, it's out of guilt from the martinis. Now, a little later, Carrie does talk to Miranda about that. And she's like, do you think it's as simple as my dad walked out on me and that's why I messed about men? And Miranda's like, my dad was there every night and I still don't understand guys. It's all a crapshoot. And I think it just depends. It's not necessarily, you know, obviously it matters if they're there or not. But like, even if they're there, sometimes dads aren't emotionally available or don't know how to do that kind of stuff. It's not something that guys are taught nearly or ingrained nearly as much as like women are for motherhood and things like that. Fatherhood is not societally like forced and ingrained upon dudes about what kind of dad they'll be, especially like when kids are babies, like guys tend to focus on when like the kids can do stuff like, oh, I want to just play sports or go camping or fishing or whatever it is you want the kid to do with you. I think societally guys are sort of trained to literally only focus on the fun parts of parenting, where you're going to go do all the fun stuff with the kid, take them places, have fun with them. But the harder emotional part for men, for raising boys and girls, or non-binary and transgender and whatnot, that stuff is not taught to guys at all. It's like, you know, you're told
because most of the in the society too, most of the guys, mostly the father's role is regulated to just fucking take care of the kid financially. That's it. Like they realize like you don't even have to. I mean, honestly, the way it's even looked at now is like you don't really have to be there as long as you make sure that they don't want for anything financially. And
like that's obviously a good thing, but it's not all that there is to raising a kid, like by any stretch. What do you call it? Because it again that takes the emotional element out of it, which is just as important for raising a kid. Which
you gotta get it from both father and mother. Can't be all compassion for the mother and the dad just like visceral and discipline. Like they have all kinds of shit.
You gotta be both. You gotta embrace your masculine and feminine and to raise a healthy kid, whether you're man, woman, or otherwise. Like,
or at least try to raise a healthy kid.
Or try to raise a healthy kid.
You
can only do so much. You can do your best and whatnot, but you know, and parents make mistakes. You gotta break cycles, and you know it's hard to recognize things. It's a whole, you know, it's a miracle we're all doing half as good as any of us are doing.
That's very true. That's very fucking true.
So let's see. So Carrie goes to the baby shower. We'll get to that. That's just cute and whatever. It's fine. So then Carrie is at Vogue late at night finishing her article with Julian. And he's been calling her Cookie this whole fucking time. And I hate it.
That's why I was like, please don't be. I was like, please, can it be one time? Can it be one time?
Yeah. So then he's like, you know how we celebrate? We go to the Vogue accessory closet, and Carrie's in.
Well, no, he asked her how she celebrates because he's like, when I finish an article, I usually like pop open fucking champagne. And she's like, well, when I celebrate, I go shopping.
Yeah.
And he's like, ooh, check this out.
Allow me.
Yes.
And they go to like I said, they go to the Vogue accessory closet, which in this and the Devil Wears Prada movie are very like aesthetically pleasing. I think I've seen a handful of like real photos of it. It's as organized as it's gonna be, but it's a fucking mess because like they just get so many products, clothes, shoes, everything, you know, beauty products and so on and so forth. It's just there's only so much that can be done.
If I worked there, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, but especially as a woman, you could be probably coming up on all kinds of good shit. Because who's gonna notice it after, especially when it's like if it's a mess like you're saying it is, and
sticky fingers.
Probably nobody cares. Dude, when I used to work at my art school, we had like swag that we give away to people, like bags and t-shirts like that. I got fucking 20 shirts in my closet right now from that shit. I would just go in there and just take them. They're like, I'm coming in like, oh, I need a new shirt. They're like, oh, go in the closet.
Yeah. No, I have tons of swag from all sorts of movie and TV things that I got either through work or through like the other podcast thing I used to do. My friend who gets even more stuff, she'll like drop it off with me, especially if it's like something she knows I'll like. Well, I think the funniest one is she got like a 13 Nights of Halloween like ABC Family box, and she was like, take this fucking witchcraft out of my house. She was not having it. And I was like, cool, there's candles and incense and a tarot card deck. See you later. And she was like, I knew you'd fucking like it. Get that fucking devilry out of my home. I don't want it. Thanks, Angelique.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it totally makes sense that, you know, if she was smart, she'd play her cards right and she could start stealing from the Vogue closet. Easily. So while she's trying on like this dream shoe, he's like, I'm gonna go over to the men's section. And then he's like, here, come over, check something out. And she walks around the corner and he's like dropped his pants. He's in like Versace underwear and like his undershirt or whatever. And she's like, what are you doing?
and I thought like, for a second, I was like, maybe he's not being agreed. Maybe he's just been like no, like maybe I thought he was gonna like maybe I was like, okay, maybe he'll come out as like I'm gay, like secretly gay, but I'm married. But no, he's just a creep. He was trying to get Carrie to come over and touch his pee. Damn it.
Which is so disappointing, especially the whole like offering of mentorship and everything.
Like, I was like, oh, he's actually gonna. I was like, I think he has her best intentions at heart.
He's a Me Too before Me Too, man. Like he lured her around with these false promises and all this stuff, and then
he did it the worst way too, because he like got her drunk first.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't take advantage of her in his office.
It's so wild to see this played as comedy in this.
I know.
This is 20 years ago. Absolutely insane to see that this whole bit played as like
it really is
funny. And like they're making jokes and stuff, and he's like, I find you adorable. She's like, what about your wife? He's like, she's been having an affair. And he's like, I'm an older man, I can help you with your father issues and all this other stuff. And then she's like, no, and just leaves. And that's all played for relative laughs. And it's so to think how that scene would be played now would be so like horrifying and sad. And it is sad and horrifying that
this show would have been canceled for that scene being played as a laugh. They would be like, oh, where are you gonna play with sexual assault? Okay, canceled. No more. Yeah, they would. That show. This would be the last season of Sex and the City. Actually, well, that probably would have happened low key. Couple seasons back, like there's been some jokes that just didn't really
for sure aging like milk. Some of this is
some places, some places got a few cracks in the old system. It didn't really get it all in there.
So then from then on, she agrees to only work with Candice Bergen. Am I saying Bergen or Bergeron? I just suddenly had like oh my god, I've been saying her name wrong this whole time. Bergen, I was right. Haha. Okay, good. Anywho, so they're walking around and Candice Bergen's tearing like another article apart, and she's like, I don't know what you know about men or shoes. And Carrie's like, I may not know men, but I know shoes.
I'll give her that.
And I'm like, yeah, you probably do know shoes.
Yeah, she don't know shit about dudes, but she definitely knows some damn
stand your ground on the shoe.
Right. It's like if nothing else,
you
know what's up.
And then she declares that she's happy to have not quit. And I think we all are, because she does continue to freelance for Vogue for the rest of the series. It comes and goes in significance, but it is a thing. Yeah. So that's Carrie's story, which it's funny. It's sort of, yes, she's the main character and she like opens and closes the episode and everything, but it does feel kind of secondary to what we're about to talk about.
Yes, because this, I think, I mean, I heard... It all centered around fathers in this episode, but
or lack thereof.
Yes. But I think this story has the most weight to it.
Yeah,
as far as this episode goes.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice again, like what people like about the show is the friendship moments. So this is between Miranda and Charlotte, and they're just so intertwined. We're going to kind of tackle them together. So earlier in the episode, they're having brunch. Miranda's late. She's trying to buy all this baby stuff, and she's totally overwhelmed. And I'm like, if she was overwhelmed then, I can't imagine how she would feel now with the way like mommy things are. For all the like, everyone loves mothers and supports mothers. That judgment about what you get, what you don't get, what you don't do. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, although I will say, at an old job, one of the older ladies was talking to one of my coworkers who was getting married, and she was asking like about are they considering kids? Not in like a nosy, intrusive way, but just like casually. And he was like, I don't know. And she's like, tell no one your plans about anything.
Just have the baby and then show some pictures and that's it.
Just don't fucking tell them.
Yeah.
Because you will get nothing but, you know, as people who want to be, some people genuinely want to be supportive, like Charlotte does, but like it still goes over the board. Other people just want to judge.
Or tell you how they did it.
Or tell you how they did it, why they did the way they did it's better.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is funny.
Which is also judging because it's like I did it this way, aka the best way, and you didn't.
Like my mom definitely has done some of that to my brother and sister-in-law. Like not super overt, but like sometimes she'll like talk to me and she'll be like, I don't know why they're doing such and such this way. I'm like, I don't know, it's their kids.
Just off the top of my head.
That's the first
throwing
answer
it out
that left
there,
in
just
mind.
from the gut, just coming out of there.
I was like, it's not 1985 anymore. It's probably why they're not doing half of what you did. I don't know, man.
I know. That's the funny thing too, right? Because like literally, like the things you do last year when you had a baby are probably changed for the things you would do this year. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, when you had your kid, maybe that was like the best or proper thing to do, but we learn new shit about parenting and new information comes out every day. And you know, next year they're gonna be like, oh, breastfeeding is bad. You know, you just never know. You'll never know.
And then you literally have strangers like come up to people. I think someone did this to my sister-in-law. And mind you, she had twins and she was like, they saw like formula like in her cart or whatever, like putting it in the car. And someone had the fucking gall to be like, breast is best. It's like, you don't know that my sister-in-law's situation. You have no fucking clue what's happening. Mind your own fucking business. Who says that to somebody?
You look at her, but like, my titties are poison. You don't know.
Like for all I know, she doesn't have any or can't. Like they don't know what the situation was. And I won't say, you know, not for me to comment either, but just like the fact that someone did that without like thinking, what if she's donating it too? You don't fucking know. Like, just fuck off. I can't. People are insane.
I know. Yeah, that's why you just like that's why the best mode of operation is to mind your own fucking business.
Mind your own fucking business.
Yeah.
Stay out of people's uteruses. Stay out of people's marriages. Stay the fuck out of people's business.
I know.
God
bro.
damn it.
So weird.
So annoying. Anyway.
Breast is best. Yes, I concur, but like maybe shut up.
Yeah, but like
I mean, like, and I don't mean that like as a female. I just like breast is best, but like as a guy, I'm saying that. Not as like she should be doing that.
But poor Miranda is overwhelmed. She's like, I don't know how I'm gonna prepare for this baby. She works, 40, 50 hours a week, and she can't bring Steve because it's complicated.
It's not complicated. She can't bring Steve because of who Steve is. She knows what's gonna happen. Like, I mean, to be fair, because it was funny because at some point they mentioned like maybe the baby had grown up without a father figure, and she was like, "No, you'd be the father figure."
Yeah,
like,
she and Carrie have that conversation later. She's like, because she's not, again, Miranda's not feeling very maternal, which I'm glad the show really gets into that, at least with her character.
Because they make it. That's the thing too, because it's that kind of stuff that, especially in media and shit like that, where they basically make it seem like, oh, as soon as the baby starts forming in your body, you just like naturally develop these, maternal instincts, and that makes women who don't feel like shit and feel guilty and all kinds of like negative. And guess what? That's affecting the baby. All that stress and that guilt that you're feeling is stressing the baby. Also, too, like it's not natural. Yeah. For some people it is, but like it's not gonna happen for that way for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like some people like it comes with experience. It comes with, or sometimes I've known people that have raised children and it never happened.
Yeah.
They did what they were supposed to do, as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a social construct of it, I'm saying, like taking care of them, feeding them, clothing them, sending them to school, yada, yada, yada. But like,
and that goes to the idea of like, you could have both parents there and they still can be emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee. But sure. And I do get like Miranda White.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. So I was gonna say, especially a type A person like Miranda. I mean, sometimes people like that just never really develop those kind of feelings for. I mean, they have kids and they have marriages and things of that nature. They go through the walks of life that we do as, I guess it's been designed, but like they don't ever really feel that like overwhelming joy of, oh, I'm a mother. Oh, my, like it's just is what it is.
And there's like nothing wrong with that. Like people
Not
should
necessarily.
be, like as like don't like take it out on the kid that you don't feel that way, but like you know what I mean. Like there's more than one way to do this. But Charlotte offers to do a baby shower because that'll help her get like a lot of the shit she needs. She can register for like a crib and stroller and all that stuff. And Miranda's like, I don't really want one. Like, and I don't know who would I invite. I love when Samantha goes, all the bitches that made you go to there.
Because Samantha's like, baby shower. Not a fan.
I don't inherently hate them. You just kind of like go to them. It's not like that big a deal. It's
I was gonna ask. I was like, what are they like? I've never been to one. I mean, because usually as a kid, but like not as an adult.
Well, usually they make it. Usually they aren't co-ed, but I went to what was a gender reveal that was co-ed. Okay. And then the baby shower, the most recent baby shower I went to had to be a drive-by one because it was during the pandemic, which is a bummer. Because I would have liked to have done like a proper baby shower fun for the couple. But I've been to like 2 or 3.
Okay.
And you play stupid little games, eat some food, some cake, open gifts. It feels a little more like a child's birthday party, I think, because it's usually sort of like there's games and cake and prizes and stuff like that. To me, the funniest one is it was someone I kind of knew through work who I actually didn't end up staying all that close with. I went to her baby shower, and one of the baby shower games was like match the baby animal to like what the adult is, so like a lamb is a sheep, that kind of thing. Right. And I got like all but one right, and someone was like, have you been to a lot of baby showers before? Is that how you knew all the answers? I was like, no, it's because I know all the answers. Because I'm fucking smart. That's why I know.
Like, kind of know what a horsetail looks like and where it should go.
I'm like, I know a foal is a baby horse.
Right.
Duh. And then I also the other one is I crushed everybody at the baby shower gender reveal thing I went to. It was you had to come up with a baby name for like every letter of the alphabet.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, I was so fucking good at that shit.
Nice.
I killed it. And trivia, of course, at the baby shower, just unstoppable.
Nice.
Yeah, don't ever fuck with me in trivia, people. You don't want none of this.
Y'all don't want the smoke.
You don't want the smoke.
You don't want that. You ain't about it. You ain't about that trivia life.
But Miranda's like, ask Charlotte, like, is she sure she would want to do this, considering Charlotte's, baby struggles?
Yeah. And she's still struggling with the fact that Miranda's having the baby and she's not,
Yeah. And Miranda's like, I want a non-cutesy, non-gamey baby shower, which can be done too. Like, just to be clear.
Absolutely.
This whole notion of like, well, if you host a thing, it has to be done such and such a way. It absolutely does not. Like, the police will not kick down your door and be like, where's the fucking diaper game?
Right.
Why aren't you playing the diaper game?
Right.
Let's get some pacifiers out here and play.
And I like the fact that Miranda didn't want to like open presents in front of everybody, because you know what, that is kind of it's kind of fun, but it's also kind of like grody, because it's like,
what if you're like have a broke friend? Like I've been to like some stuff. Right, I was a broke friend, and like all I could give was like onesies, and it's like you're opening gifts in front of everybody for everybody to judge what each other got. Like that's just it's kind of gross if you really think about it. And people like they call that fun. I'm like, how the fuck is that fun? It seems so catty. It seems like it's a low key way to throw shade at your friends. Be like, oh, you got me this. See how close we are, like, oh, so and so only got like this thing off the registry or these things, right? Interesting.
Especially too, like, and these are most of her coworkers, right? So like she kind of probably knows how much they make, so if they don't come out with some good shit, she's like, oh bitch, you cheat. Also hilarious that Miranda wants fried chicken at her baby shower. Delicious. What a choice. I love it. Why is that the theme of this show? Like KFC, fried chicken comes up a lot, dude. So much. That's very strange. So many episodes where fried chicken has happened. It's the one before Aiden was eating KFC.
Oh, and Carrie had the KFC when she was high with the like comic book guy.
Yeah.
And it's gotta be at least one other time, but yeah.
There's like other episodes where she's had KFC as well too, and then they do KFC for the LGBTQ party that they had after with.
Well, that was like a barbecue.
Yeah, I'm saying, but with
the
neighbors,
the trans sex workers.
Yes.
Yeah, they might have.
I think they had fried chicken as well.
Yeah.
There, it's like it's a lot of fried chicken going down. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Oh, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Like,
I mean, let me tell you something. If I was having a baby shower, I would ask for fried chicken.
Absolutely.
I mean, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like though Miranda asked for fried chicken just to fuck with
totally,
Charlotte, because you know, as soon as she said fried chicken, Charlotte was like, fried chicken.
She's like, it's not the big game.
She hated that immediately. She's like, what? Fried chicken? No.
And I felt a little bad for Charlotte though when the next day because she's gonna host the shower at her apartment, and she had to cover up the nursery, or felt like she had to cover up the nursery for the baby she really, really wanted and wasn't gonna get from Trey. And I was like, no, I feel that because it is very hard. There are a lot of stories where now I understand it to a point, but I do think like, because there are lots of people who struggle with infertility or pregnancy loss or things like that, where they're like, I cannot be around someone who's pregnant or babies and things like that, because it is too triggering for them. And like, to a degree, I respect that, but sometimes they take it too far. And I'm like, and that's what you need to get in therapy, because like, you can't hide from or demand that people hide those things from you forever.
Yeah, people got to be able to live their lives.
Acclimate to society a little.
Yeah. It's actually kind of selfish to even like make those demands. I remember a friend back from a few years back, a friend of mine kind of made a demand like that. Like he had dated some woman named Samantha, and they broke up, and it was like a real bad breakup. And like we were making a buddy of mine like wrote this short that we wanted to shoot together. And one of the characters was named Samantha, and he was like, could you change the name of the character Samantha, like, you know, that just it's like kind of triggering for me, you know. That was my ex, blah blah blah. I was like, he was like, no, like
it's a common name.
Like that's your deal. That has nothing to do. Like, this is my short, not yours. Like, if you want to be in it, cool. If you can't work here, then by all means, I'll find somebody else. Like, I'm not gonna go change the whole script just because that name is triggering for you. That's selfish.
And because I get that. I totally understand. It's like hard when we're devastating things that can happen, but just sort of the way like other people take pregnancies personally is weird to me. And maybe it's because it's never happened to me. It's coming from a total place of ignorance of it happening, and it's like you won't understand it till it happens to you kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm like, you can't take things that other people do. You can't take other natural courses of life that people are doing as a personal slight against you.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with like
a baby just to fuck with you. Like
or getting married just to fuck with you.
Right.
Going back to school, any of those things. Like life rolls on, you know, whether or not you're into it. Like but you know, again, all respect and empathy to people who have struggled or experienced loss, because it is a terrible thing.
It sucks.
But I don't think you can like, again, you can't dictate like, you know, because I've read a lot of those, again, the Am I the Asshole thing on Reddit, where it's like, you know, someone gets pregnant and then like a in-law is like, you need to never be near me, I can't be near you because of the baby. Or people who are like, I have friends who do that, and I can't bring myself to be around them because the looking at them being pregnant is too painful a reminder. And I'm like, again, to a point, like if it's really fresh, that's one thing. But like sometimes it's like years after the fact.
Yeah.
And like
you're also willing to like throw away that whole connection, that friendship, that relationship, because like if something that you can't get over, like that's when you do go and like try to go get therapy or something like that. It's not worth throwing away, like unless you just really didn't fuck with that person to begin with, and like you just needed an excuse, and then, you know, hey, there you go. I'm not mad at that either, you know. It's a solid excuse. Nobody can call you an asshole for it. You still like the good guy. It's fine.
but then Charlotte definitely goes overboard because first she calls Miranda, who's on like a conference call at work, and it says it's an emergency, and she's like, "Did you get this toy on the registry? It's da 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 da, and it's supposed to be so good." Blah 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 blah. And Miranda's constantly going like, "Charlotte, I'm at work. Charlotte, I'm at work. Charlotte, I'm at work." And she's like, "What if we did this like centerpiece that looks like a stork?" And so Miranda's like, "I said no storks, and I have to go back to work. Bye." And like has to hang up on her.
She wasn't hearing the work part. She's like, yeah, but like the decorations, but the things.
Yeah.
The baby shower.
Sure. It's like, you have to decide all this. And it's sort of like, not right now. She's at work. You can't do that.
Right.
And then Charlotte is at Miranda's apartment, kind of walking through some baby stuff with her, which I think is nice, but obviously it becomes a fight, about like where to put the bassinet and crib and everything in the room. And she's like, "Unless you want to sleep with the baby in the bed," and all this and that. And Miranda's like overwhelmed with all the questions Charlotte's firing at her, like, what type of mom do you want to be, the baby proofing, and on. Yeah. And Miranda finally is like, "You got to back off. It's and it feels like you're pointing out all the things I'm doing wrong."
She wasn't, but I could also see how that would come up. But like also those are kind of things that you probably should be thinking. Like at least like the baby proof in your apartment kind of thing. Yeah. Maybe that's a good idea. You know,
put some bumpers on them corners.
Yeah, that's like you're pretty far along. Like, the belly's sticking out there. It feels like that baby's about to come any day now. Like at least the next couple episodes.
Yeah,
so.
And to your point, Charlotte's like, "Look, you need to let other people in, because once the baby arrives, it is not just you anymore, and you can't control everything." And she's totally right. Like, is Charlotte being overbearing a little? Yes. Yeah, but she's not wrong. Projecting. And she is trying to support her friend and help her with all these decisions that have to happen before a baby shows up in your life.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if anything, Miranda should be like kind of leaning on Miranda,
outsource that shit.
Charlotte right now, you know what I'm saying? Because like, dude, she clearly wants to be as much help to you as possible, just so she can be around babies, you know what I'm saying? And that may give her something too, with her morning-in-laws, like to be able to help you out with the baby. So like, take advantage of that. Hell, maybe she can get this bitch to babysit while you're at work, still making money. Because if you have to sit there through the maternity, you know what I'm saying, like that. You're gonna be behind, you know what I'm saying? People are gonna be taking your cases. So if you're going to get back to work,
Charlotte's unemployed and baby obsessed. Yeah. Why not let her be a second mom?
She'll do it for free, man.
She'll do it for free. She will hang out with that baby for free
all day. Hell yeah.
And I think that does like speak to Miranda's fears though too, because she knows she has to make these decisions and she's kind of paralyzed, I think, by them. So she's just not making any. But like, you can't do that. you gotta start.
Well, it's also too. It's. Maybe this is just my kind of way of looking at it, but like, it still feels as if she's still kind of in denial.
Yeah.
That it's like exactly not really happening to her. It's like happening to somebody else. Like it's just like a story she's making up in her head or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't think she's really kind of grasped the true reality that she's like a couple months away from being a mom.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the show "I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant" exists.
Right.
Do you know how many people are like, "God, I just had to take a huge dump." And I went to the bathroom and I stood up and there was a whole baby in there.
I'll never believe that. How do you not know? You didn't feel that motherfucker kick once? That baby ain't kick your stomach.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people.
That baby was just in there, just chilling, docile. You thought all the weight you was gaining was just in your belly.
Yeah. Some people are super, super into that. That was the whole plot of like half the first season of Mad Men was Peggy got pregnant and like
play it off.
everyone was just like, man, Peggy's gaining weight, and then she was super in denial about the baby basically up until she had it, and then she gave it up for adoption.
That's true.
So yeah, it can happen.
That's
whole TLC show dedicated to it.
I know.
So check your dumps, people. There might be a baby in there.
Oh my jeez. Oh no.
Anyway,
people was like sifting through poop. Oh, is there a baby in there?
Maybe it's a lot bigger than a piece of poop. Most of the time.
Sometimes.
You'll notice.
Yeah. You get a hungry man dinner, it may not be.
Depending on what you eat. Oh my god.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so they're arguing though about that stuff and like what the shower's gonna look like. Charlotte's like sort of transformed it into what Miranda didn't want, and they end up shouting at each other and doing that fine thing, where it's like, fine, and
yeah,
Charlotte goes to storm out, and Miranda's like, I might not even fucking come to this thing. So that's where we get the scene of her, Carrie, and Miranda on Carrie's stoop. And Miranda's like, I'm gonna be a terrible mom. Like, I have no instincts the way I yelled at Charlotte. And Carrie's like, well, yeah, how about you and I just quit?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I meant to put that
Vogue.
out there. I forgot at brunch. She kept trying to like make it about herself. You notice like everything that she said was like a comment about Vogue and like how they said this and what they did that. It's like,
yeah, it's like, Carrie, no one gives a flying
right
now.
You're bitching about a good job and you owe people money. Shut up and go to work. Be an adult. We all have jobs and careers, and there's moments in them that we don't like, and we don't complain about them all fucking day. Grow up.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm such a Carrie. Who wants to be this bitch?
I know. How about you listen to your friend who's going through an unplanned pregnancy?
Yeah. Or your friend that's worried about having a threesome with somebody, or your friend that's like,
going through something major,
just
went through a divorce.
Have divorce and mourning the idea of not being able to have a baby when she wants to, while her friend is pregnant next to her. Like, not about you.
Maybe get your head out of your fucking ass.
Write your 500 words and shut up.
Shut up. So, and I feel so bad for Miranda. She's like, when I was 13, I was watching my niece and I got bored and I accidentally let my niece fall off the couch and she needed stitches.
Yo. But here's the thing though. Like, at first I was like, oh girl, you need to let that go. You're 13, you're a different person now.
Yeah.
But then at the shower though.
The baby shower. We'll get there in a sec.
Oh no.
It's bad.
She still can do it.
She still did it.
She's still capable of it.
Yeah. So Carrie peps her up because Miranda's like, how am I going to raise this kid? I'm a type A mom. There's no father figure. And Carrie's like, no, you're the father figure. And I think that's totally fair. I think Steve could totally be a Mr. Mom.
100%. He would definitely be, I think he has, I mean, honestly, he definitely already does have more maternal instincts than Miranda does. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as he heard baby, he was just like, and it's something he's always wanted.
To fucking trap her with a baby from the start anyway.
Right. Like, he wanted to be a dad for a long time. So
yeah,
he's ready for it. He's with it.
So Miranda gets to the baby shower and she sees what Charlotte put together, including the fried chicken. And it's everything she asked for. And it's very sweet of Charlotte to do.
Yeah.
And the shower goes ahead, and so Miranda's opening gifts, and a friend with a baby's like, a friend who has a baby is like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Hey, why don't you hold the baby so you start getting used to it? Haha. And she does, and kind of sets the little guy on the couch, and he starts to slide, and Carrie's like, Miranda, like Carrie catches the baby.
Here's the thing. She's like Miranda. Miranda's like didn't even really like acknowledge what had happened. You know what I mean? She was like, "Oh yeah, baby."
Yeah.
Like she like almost forgot that she had set the baby down.
Yeah, she just kind of was like, and then just like moved.
Yeah.
And he looked like 1 year old.
Present. Yeah, that baby was a baby. That was a baby.
He could not sit up. With his little torso.
He couldn't even control his head. No, that was a baby.
He was a baby.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I had a bald spot. That was definitely a baby.
Yeah.
If there was like 2 or 3, it wouldn't be no more bald spots. Yeah.
But no, this was definitely a baby. This is funny. It wasn't a baby shower, but I was at my youngest cousin's like birthday when she was in elementary school or something somewhere around there. And there was a mom there who was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And she shoved that baby in my arms and like trotted off. And this lady was a little wacky as I came to learn more about her over time. But I just held that kid for a second. I'm okay with kids and I'm fine. I adjusted him in a second, but like she handed him back first to me. So I just had to put my hands under his arms. And he looked a little bewildered. And I was like, hey buddy, it's okay. I like kids. Let's and I like adjusted him to like proper holding position. Yeah. But I think I was like, you're pretty lucky I do like kids. This could have gone real bad. And I don't think she knew me that well. She was just really confident that like I wouldn't do anything to her baby at this party, I guess.
Or wouldn't drop it or nothing like that. Like you just can't just.
I will say people tend to think I am genuinely pretty good with kids. And I get very nervous holding little babies. That stresses me out. But like 8 months and up, I'm like really confident and I can hold them and everything's fine. I'm just worried about their little necks all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not like the first time I think at one of those birthday parties, like some other woman was like, you seem like you'd be fine holding a baby here.
Well, like, just don't put your baby in my arms. Like, what if I don't want to hold your baby? And I'm fine with kids like that. The only thing I worry about is like, if you're gonna hand me my baby, like if your baby, depending on the age of your baby, can you hand me like, a little fucking spit up towel as well? Because if it's a little infant like this kid and this one, like
his little diaper leaks on the Carrie.
Diaper leak, he might spit up, you know what I'm saying? They'd be doing that from time to time out of nowhere. It happens. I wouldn't be mad about it, but it's like, I don't want it all over me. Give me a towel, baby.
My nephew kind of spit up on me right before I had to catch my flight when he was a baby. But he's so cute, I don't care.
No, it's fine because it's not the baby's fault, but it's like, if you're going to hand me your baby, hand me a towel. Hand me some preparation. Like, especially if you know babies that spit up from time to time. Like, come on.
Yeah. But then there's another little sad moment. Miranda gets a fancy Tiffany baby rattle, and Charlotte starts to cry because that's the thing Trey gave her way back when they were going to first start trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
And she kind of has to run out of the room, and Miranda goes and comforts her, and Charlotte's like, I'm so sorry for ruining your shower. And Miranda's like, you didn't. I appreciate you trying to be okay with me having the baby. And she's like, and you're truly the only one in my life who understands all the baby stuff. Yeah. And Miranda's very like motherly and supportive here. And it's such a nice moment between the two of them. And I think this kind of like heals their bump of like
that tension.
Yeah. Because Charlotte's always going to be sad that she wasn't able to have like the baby with Trey.
Yeah.
And no, it's not gone forever. It's certainly harder again at this point in time.
Sure.
In terms of fertility and stuff like that. But all things are not close to her. But it's hard. It's what she really wanted, and it's a big loss. Yeah. Then I love Carrie comes in with the little baby, and his little diaper had leaked under her. And Samantha's like, well, I gotta head to the three-way. Peace out,
like I was like, I've had enough of this shit. Like, let's wrap this up. She was ready to roll.
That was so we get that nice friendship moment between the two.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool too because it was good to kind of see that like Charlotte and Miranda are actually friends.
Yeah,
and, like, they're going like this, or at least maybe this is like the development of their like true friendship, because earlier seasons like that, Charlotte just seemed like just like the last attachment of the group, and like now she's kind of coming in and actually being a part of the friend group.
Yeah, she's a little more integrated into their goings on.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it for her.
I liked that little baby though. He was so cute.
I know. I was like worried. I was like, damn, why she let that baby slide down like that?
I know. Somebody get
that immediately. I was like, did somebody push him? Is the couch wet?
Why he just like whoop.
Well, she did. I realized too, looking back on it, because I had to rewind it. I was like, how does the baby fall? But she didn't really like sit him on the couch. She set him like on the edge of the couch.
Babies don't have core muscles at that point. They can't sit up.
None. And if that head were to go forward, that'd have been it. They'd have been on the couch. Everything is led by head when it's a baby, right?
Yeah, they got those noggins that just boom.
Yes. When the head goes forward, that's where the rest of the body follows.
My noggin stayed big. And that's why I know all the names of baby animals. It's holding my giant brain. Made myself snort on that one.
Yeah, you did. Glad you enjoyed it. All right.
Not me getting stressed out at the go-kart place thinking they're not going to have a helmet that'll fit over my fucking head.
Hilarious.
So.
Tell people where they can find us.
Oh, well, you
tell it. No, you tell us.
No, you
I don't know. You tell me. You tell us.
Well, you can find us the show most easily on Instagram at, I lost my place, at Show Me What Podcast. And that'll take you to Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all those good places. And then you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies. And Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me at everything at F Christopher T Mack on all socials medias.
Love it.
Yeah.
And as always, we have the Arlo Australia candles deal. Use promo code Show Me Miss for, was it 10%?
Yes, 10%. Yes.
10% off.
10% off.
They are super, super good candles. Highly recommend.
Hell yeah.
And that's it for this episode. And we'll see you next time.